does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review charged by BoardGameExchange.com, the internet's only board game rental website. Today I am super excited to be checking out Super Showdown from Touch Paper Press LLC. This is for 2 players, ages 12 and up. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes to play this bad boy. And in Super Showdown, you and another player will be getting it on across the city as a superhero and a supervillain in a fighting kind of way, not in a lovemaking kind of way. But you'll be getting it on, going across the city, battling wits by laying down cards. Let's open it up and see how it plays. Okay, inside of Super Showdown, let's take a look at what you're going to get. First and foremost, you're going to get your handy-dandy rule booklet. It is 2 pages. It is double-sided. It is the worst rule booklet I have ever used in my entire life. It is god-awful. I would rather try and read a Mandarin Chinese rule booklet, but I'll get more into that later. Next, you're going to get cards, because this is primarily a card game. Beautiful artwork on the back. Also, on the front, you're going to have unique artwork that is really, really cool to look at. There's 2 colors. There's white and there's green. The white represent the good guy. The green represent the bad guy. And that is a theme you're going to see throughout the game. You're going to get your board. This is the city. This is the city the good guy and the bad guy are going to be fighting in, trying to do whatever they respectively will be doing. You're going to get your 2 pawns, which are green and white, obviously representing good and bad. You're going to get your 2 dice, likewise representing good and bad. You're going to get 2 helper sheets, which are very, very nice. If these were not included in the game, I would probably set this game on fire. But you're going to get these 2 helper sheets that are very, very helpful, and they really will help you understand the game, especially once you start to figure out how the game works. Last year, you might get some, what are these called? They're called distress cards. I forgot the name of them. These will modify the game. These are a special Kickstarter stretch goal, I believe they were. And I'm not going to play with these because I'm just going to try and show you the core game so you can figure that out. But these really do kind of make the game a little bit more interesting. I personally like to play with these in if I'm playing with someone who knows how to play the game. So I'm just going to go through a mock hand before I really explain what I'm doing so you can exactly see how to do it. Then I'm going to explain it. So first and foremost, you're going to deal out 9 cards to each player. The 9 cards will decide whether or not you are the good guy or the bad guy, depending on if you have more white than green. So this guy obviously is going to be the good guy because he has 7 whites. This other player is obviously going to have 7 greens because they are the bad guy. So, bad guy's going to go first. What he's going to do is he's going to move his pawn first. I already know this, too. He's going to roll the dice first. So he rolled a 6. He's going to put his dice right here on the bad side. This is going to help decide where Mayhem is. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Now you're going to move your pawns. So, how this works is you're going to be able to move it 0, 1, or 2 spaces. If you were on a super booster, I don't remember exactly what they're called, but these little round red spots, you will be able to move 3 spaces this turn. So, he's going to be moving around the city. Now, what are you trying to do as you move around the city? That really depends on what kind of cards you have in your hand and what kind of fight you want to have. So, I'll get more into those in a second. So, he's just going to go his 3 spaces. So, we'll go 1, 2, 3 right there. Now, the white guy is going to move. He's going to go 3 spaces, up to 3 spaces, since he's also on a red thing. So, he'll go 1, 2, he'll go right there. He's going to be on the 4. So now what they're going to do is they're going to take a card out of their hand and they are going to play it. 1 card, you can play an opponent card or you can play your card. So we're just going to go like this. Randomly, we're going to lay down that 10 and we'll lay down this white 16. Because sometimes you really don't know what cards to play because you don't know how the game is going to work out. So now the white guy is going to roll his dice. Boom, he's got a 5, which means the Mayhem is going to occur right here. Now, you're going to be constantly having different spots of Mayhem. So the Mayhem is right here. So, if one person were on this, if one person were in Mayhem, you would be having a battle of speed. Now, a battle of speed, the superhero that is on that spot, the supervillain that would be on that Mayhem spot, would choose who is defeated and who is victorious. So let's take a look. We got a 10, we have a 10, we have a 16, but we have 2 white cards, totaling to 26. So obviously, if the white guy ended up being on the Mayhem, then he would want his 2 cards to go over to the victory card, whereas if the green guy happened to be on the Mayhem, he would want it to go into the defeat card pile. So that's kind of interesting. But if they are on the same space, so for instance, if these 2 were on the same space like that, then what would happen is the low card would be defeated. And since green has no cards present, they would be defeated. But there's also a special fidgety rule about there's a ray gun in here, and there's a decoy in here, and there's some other stuff in here that you're probably not going to use too often, maybe once a game if you get the card. But they just feel like kind of fidgety rules. Last, what we actually do have is a battle of wits. This is when no one is at the Mayhem, which is right here on this spot. If no one's at the Mayhem, the low card is defeated. So green is defeated, but it's not actually defeated because if the cards tallied up are higher than 19, then they are defeated. So what happened here is, since we have 10 and 16, it's a 26, which means the white is defeated. Clear as a bucket of mud, right? I know. But anyway, so what happens is both these cards go over into the defeat pile. You pick back up your dice, and you rinse and repeat. But now the white guy will be going first. We'll do another one so you can still get a better feel for it. So white guy's going to roll this time. He's 1. So we know the Mayhem is going to be somewhere over here. So he wants to head over to the Mayhem. He's not on a circle, so he'll go 1, 2. And then the green guy, he will go, he can go wherever he wants, because he can go 3 spaces, because he's on that, so he'll go 1, 2, 3, for no rhyme or reason. I don't really know why he would go there. And then they're going to both, once again, lay down cards. So let's see, this guy is going to lay down that 11, the green 11, and then this guy is going to lay down a white 2. So now, green guy is going to roll the dice, and the Mayhem is going to be occurring at the 3 and 1 grid, so the Mayhem's right here. So once again, we have another battle of wits, because no one is in this spot. Starting to make a little bit more sense, I hope. So the low card is defeated, and the high card is victorious. So we got a 2 right here, we got 11, which means the 2 is going to go over in the defeat, and the 11 is going to go over into the victory. So whoever has 5 cards in the victory, or 5 cards in the defeat, is going to win or lose first. So you're not always going to essentially win the game. Sometimes your opponent is going to lose the game for you. But you're just going to keep rinsing and repeating and doing that over and over and over until someone gets the 5 cards in each stack. And that is how Super Showdown is played. Okay. Bowling trophy. So, what do I think about Super Showdown? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. We'll start on the pro side, which is never good. The artwork, the components, everything in this game is top-notch. This box is very sturdy. The board is nice to look at. The cards are absolutely gorgeous. If you love Golden Age comic books, you will absolutely love this, the artwork in this game. Also, the theme is dripping off of this game too much, a little bit too much for my liking, which I'll get to in a second. The theme is really there. I mean, every single aspect of this game makes you feel superhero. The pawns look like the meeples look like superhero. The dice are very nicely colored. They could have just gave you a red and a white, but they gave you the green and the white, which I really like. The box is outstanding. Everything is great on that aspect. Also, there's a good deal of strategy in this game. I played it the first couple times, and I was like, oh, I really don't get it. And then I was like, okay, there's a little bit of strategy here. And there is a surprising amount of strategy in this little 10-player game. There's a lot of bluffing and trying to figure out what card your opponent's going to lay, and all that stuff. But moving over to the cons, oh gosh, the rule booklet. The rule booklet is atrocious. It is bad, bad, bad. I have played a lot of games in my time. I've played, Twilight Struggle. I played Game of Thrones, Twilight Imperium, Agricola. I've played these multiple-hour games with a lot of rules and a lot of things to remember, a lot of things to do. But, Super Showdown, congratulations. You have won the worst rule booklet in existence, at least in my personal opinion. It is 2 pages, it is double-sided, it is full color, and it is god-awful. We tried to play this game 3 times unsuccessfully, just going off the rule booklet. Just don't buy it for a lot of different reasons. The way it's worded, how they did the play examples are terrible. Why is it so bad? Because they are too much into their theme. I'm all about getting into the theme. I love thematic games. I love superheroes, so I was expecting to really like this game. But the rule booklet really killed it for me. Instead of just having, oh, this is how you do this, and this is how you do that, and your opponent's going to do this and that, they had to make it incredibly complex and convoluted. They had names for everything. Instead of just saying your opponent, it's your nemesis, blah, 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 blah. All right, they just made up all these words that really didn't need to be in there. Your opponent rolls his dice now. Is that hard to understand? No, it's not. But instead they say the nemesis rolls his cube, or whatever. I just really didn't like the rule booklet. Also, the game's not going to be for everybody. It is a two-player game, so if you're not in the market for a two-player game, look elsewhere. And as much as I loved the theme, you never really felt like you were a superhero and you're battling wits and all that, at least not for me. I mean, the theme is dripping off this game, but I still could not get into the theme. Overall, Super Showdown was a game I was on the fence about. If you can find it for very cheap, or you are just somebody who has to collect every game, or you absolutely cannot live without this gorgeous artwork, then go ahead and pick it up. But for the rest of us, I can recommend a lot more two-player games that I like better than this game. So take that for what you will. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Super Showdown featuring Offer the Mighty and Grumble Strike. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner. Also check out BoardGameExchange.com, the nationwide board game rental service.